not the kind of athletes that they're going to see against the Lady Vols.
Tennessee 26-6 all time in regional semifinals. Gonzaga has made it to 1 Elite Eight. That was as an 11 seed right here in Spokane back in 2011. They knocked off Louisville in the regional semis before losing to Stanford in the Elite Eight. And a miss inside by Shelby Cheslett, but able to get it back. And a foul on the floor, so no basket. That's a good sign, though, an offensive rebound. Holly Warlick in her 3rd season, but been on the staff since the mid-'80s, played at Tennessee. We talked to her yesterday. She said, I'm so close to this thing. As they get a basket from Albanez, but Holly knows the pressure that she has on her shoulders trying to get Tennessee back to their first Final Four since the last time it was played in Tampa.
The only kind of pressure she's thinking about right now is ball pressure out of her defense, because that was too easy for Gonzaga on that out-of-bounds play against their man-to-man.
And a steal. Reinecker with the reach in and strip.
Gonzaga will reverse the basketball. Everyone likes to get a touch. They dribble with a purpose. They've got great offensive execution fundamentals.
Reinecker missed inside, but another second chance opportunity, and Tinkle hits the jumper. The crowd into it early. A little cautious, though. They don't want to get too excited just yet.
The matchup to keep your eye on is the one you alluded to, is Rashard Graves at the top of the key. She's been the big-time scorer for the Lady Vols in the tournament.
Burdick hits the jumper. Sierra Burdick at 14 points, 10 rebounds in their second-round victory against Pitt. First basket for the Vols.
They look to extend their defense off a made hoop.
Georgia Sturton is the point guard. Be interesting to see how she does against Andrea Carter.
This is going to be ball pressure unlike you've ever seen. It's a nightmare to bring the ball up the floor, handle against Carter.
Tinkle gets to the goal and missed it.
Part of the reason why Sierra Burdick made the SEC first team is because of her mid-range jump shot. She has been very good.
Jordan Reynolds from outside.
And Reynolds in this tournament in the last 4 games, that makes her 7 for 12 outside the three-point line. That's an added weapon in the postseason.
And she was only around 30% during the regular year. There's a skip pass to an open Tinkle, but short on the 3. Long rebound, ends up in the hands of Sturton for a reset. Cheslett gets inside, good entry pass.
The size on the front line for Gonzaga is bigger. They're longer. Tennessee's quicker with Rashard Graves inside. See, they're getting right inside to Shelby Cheslett in a great position to be able to score.
You got Cheslett trying to defend Graves as Tennessee keeps it on the perimeter with a shot clock now at 10. Reynolds to the bucket. Kicks it out. Three-pointer on the way. Short by Carter. Tapped out. Reinerker's got it.
I thought Jordan passed up a layup.
Albanez a little step back. Rainbow 3 off the side of the rim. And then a foul called on Tinkle. First on Gonzaga.
Albanez took a contested quick 3 in their transition game. And that's not going to be something that Lisa Fortier is going to want from her team. First-year head coach, 33 years old for Gonzaga. You can't allow Tennessee to get those long rebounds in transition quickly because you don't have the same team speed to run with them.
Spent the last 7 years as an assistant with the Zags for Kelly Graves, who left Gonzaga this past year for Oregon. Good passing by Tennessee, but Graves couldn't finish. Maybe too many passes on a couple possessions now by the Vols.
You know what, Dave? They're a physical team. They've got to be aggressive. There's not a shot blocking presence for Gonzaga. If you get the ball in the paint, take it to the basket hard. Rashard Graves has been doing that very well and very effectively in the NCAA tournament.
A foul on Carter, her first. Second on Tennessee. Cheslett again. This time went to the right hand, and she missed.
Too quickly.
And Tennessee gets a layup. And the Vols lead by 1. Massengale's first points. Albanez wouldn't drop. And a Gonzaga foul. They get Tinkle, that's 2. No, they're going to get Albanez, her first.
One of the things that we would be surprised to see is offensive rebounding by Gonzaga. They knocked down their first 2 baskets with their offensive rebounding work, and then Massengill in transition all the way to the rim. Tennessee with a 1-point lead early.
And it allowed them to stay at their homes. Last night, they did not stay in a hotel. All of the women stayed at home, and that was a decision for Coach Fortier. She decided that it was best to keep them in their routines, that would give them the best advantage. And she said it would be a little awkward to be in Spokane and not have them stay at home.
How often has that happened?
Well, they had to go to class today. That stinks. We're going to go to class during the NCAA tournament? That kept them in their normal routine. Yeah, yesterday they went to class. I mean, Friday, yes. Today's Saturday.
A 3-point chance here. Emma Wolfram picking up the foul, and so Burdick with 5 points as she gets the free throw. And Allison mentioned that, Tennessee for a regional hasn't been this far west, but they did play a regular season game at Gonzaga back in 2008. And Angie Bjorklund, a member of the Tennessee team there, is from Spokane. Albanez is open, and she drains a 3.
Well, she's made 60 on the season. That's a much better shot selection. How about the ball reversal, handling the pressure, spacing the floor. Don't put it on the floor unless you need to.
Her 61st three-pointer. She had 19 in the first round against George Washington, 12 points in their second round win at Oregon State. And traveling is called here on Jamie Nard.
And watch the ball movement. You draw 2. You space the floor. It's a great job of sharing the basketball to a wide open, uncontested triple. The best three-point shooter, the person you want taking that shot.
Nard out on her now.
You have to take the shots in your system that you want to take if you're Gonzaga. You can't make Tennessee dictate what shots you take in your offense. And right now, Gonzaga is getting the shots that they want.
Interesting right there. Holly didn't like that call. You saw Nard, as soon as she put her hand on the hip of Albanez, they called the foul. So let's see how closely they defend her on these closeouts. Whether they give her breathing room, airspace to shoot. Reinecker with a turnaround. A senior from Germany, the most outstanding player at the West Coast Conference Tournament.
That's the matchup that Gonzaga could take advantage of. Reinecker is their leading scorer. Burdick is an undersized defender.
And the entry pass thrown right to Reinecker. So a turnover by Tennessee.
The one thing Holly Warlick told us yesterday about her defense, besides ball pressure, was we're going to play one-on-one. We're not bringing help.
Zags have some bigs. There's Emma Wolfram, a redshirt freshman from British Columbia. And it's a three-point lead.
Quality touches on the floor where you want, the shots that you want right now. That physical presence and ball pressure for Tennessee is not a problem for Gonzaga.
Burdick missing that time on the baseline. Offensive rebound and the rejection, Wolfram. But on the second try, Graves gets it to go. First basket for Bashara Graves. And a turnover by Gonzaga.
Now that's the first turnover the pressure has caused. Look at the low post position by Groninger. This is a turnaround jump shot. And then it's Wolfram inside. Doing a nice job going to the opposite hand, scoring against Bashara Graves. So back-to-back post plays against the front line of Tennessee.
That turnover was the first caused by Tennessee. Moore with the turnaround, won't go. Burdick with the offensive rebound. Burdick, a good rebounder, about 7.5 boards per game on the year. Had 10 rebounds in the second round, 11 rebounds in round 1 against Boise State. Another takeaway by Groninger. Albanez fires it inside. Wolfram score. Her second basket since coming into the game. at 17 against Oregon State. A season high for field goal attempts and scoring in that game. So she's got a lot of confidence. Tennessee with the miss. Here comes Sturton. Albanez for three. Got it! Wow. 6-point lead for the Zags.
They are getting whatever they want.
And his other daughter, Ellie, a member of this Gonzaga team. Ellie was a fan back in 2011 when they made the Elite Eight run. And they lost to Jocelyn and Stanford. She was sitting in the Stanford section, said it was really awkward because she knew she was going to Gonzaga the next year, and she was torn for who to root for.
What they're showing zone, but they're in man, and it's confusing Tennessee.
Reynolds missing. 8 minutes gone by. Gonzaga with a 6-point lead, shooting 53%. Wolfram getting great position down low. Can't score. And Burdick, good block out that time.
Yeah, great rebound by Burdick. And see, she doesn't need an outlet. She can initiate their transition game and get them up tempo quickly.
Almost all of Tennessee's offense has been inside the arc so far. Offensive foul.
That's 2 on Carter.
Another Tennessee turnover. Gonzaga by 6.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by Quicksilver from Capital One.
They made it to a regional final in 2011. A unique experience for Lisa Fortier. She was an assistant on those teams now. He's calling the shots as the head coach as Gonzaga turns it over. A travel out of the timeout. But right now it's the Tennessee turnover story. 5 giveaways for the Vols that have led to 8 points out of the 18 for Gonzaga.
Well, right off the timeout, that's not what you want for Gonzaga. You had a little momentum. Now you give the ball right back to Tennessee.
Reynolds with a pull-up jumper. It won't drop. Out of bounds off of Tennessee. Not sure about that one.
You know, I'd like to see.
I thought that was off of
I did too.
Gonzaga, and the officials aren't talking about it.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was off Gonzaga. But they came together and communicated. Now, let's see. Yeah, I think that's Gonzaga. But you know what? Tennessee needs to move the ball and get a better shot. You know, Jordan Reynolds got the ball in her hands. She needs to pass it. She's not a traditional point guard, but she's moved to that position primarily with the Isabel Harrison injury. Ariel Massengill capable of playing a point as well.
No assists for Tennessee. They go to Wolfram on the low block, and she traveled. Thought she put it on the floor, but checking with Allison.
Debbie, you mentioned ball movement for Tennessee. That was the #1 theme during their last timeout. Holly Warlick told her players, you have to move the ball. You can't just get stuck in the grass. She also said you have to go to work inside. We need to get inside paint looks, no more jumpers.
There's much better ball movement there, Allison. Reverse the ball. Get a touch inside, reverse it.
Let's see how they handle the late shot clock now. Inside 10. Grace facing up, attacking, just throws it up. Burdick got the offensive rebound, and she was fouled.
That matchup zone is not quite as long and as athletic and active as what we saw from the Duke Blue Devils, who got knocked out by Maryland, but it's the same matchup zone, same principles.
14 fouling Gonzaga, corner 3, not there. A collision, and Tinkle got to the loose ball, and they're saying it was kicked by Tennessee. So the Lady Vols with just 12 points here in the first 10 minutes. Trailing by 6. In their history, they've only lost 6 times in the regional semifinals. A turnover, though, by Gonzaga. Middleton for Tennessee, and then she lost it. Burdick gets it blocked. And then a reach and foul. That's 2 quick ones on Nilles.
I think Lisa Fortier has to get Georgia Sturton back in the game. That's twice that freshman Emma Stahl has turned the ball over at midcourt, which is a deadly place to turn the ball over because it fuels the Tennessee transition game.
She's going to keep her in for now. She does bring Albanez back in the game, who has 8 points to lead all scores. Middleton hands to Burdick underneath. Couldn't get it to go. Those long arms in the post to get two players at 6'4" for Gonzaga. Albanez tried to hit Wolfram.
Much better job of defending the on-ball screen on the wing that time. You got to get over the top. You got to read the screener's defender. Good deflection by Burdick to set their D.
Gonzaga on a 12-2 run. Tennessee missed its last 8 shots. They're not scored in 4 minutes. They're down 6. Gonzaga ball. Shot clock at 9. Albanez tries another long 3. This one is short. Rebound by Massengale. Tennessee has not gotten any easy baskets. And almost a travel there in Reynolds. Burdick too strong. Tinkle with the defensive rebound. The Vols have missed their last 9. Wolfram calling for it.
You got to give it to her. She's got great position.
I tell you what, she's got blood on her face.
She's got a bloody nose.
They haven't checked it. Doesn't matter. She scores anyway.
How about that?
Blood gushing out of her nose. She catches, turns, and scores. Now let's see. Are they going to count the basket? They did, and then blew the whistle after. I don't think the official saw it until after, so they should count the basket.
You got to be kidding me. This is what you call toughness. Look, she demanded a ball. My nose is bleeding. It doesn't matter. Get me the ball. Love it.
That's awesome. Then the official caught it. I don't even know that she knew it at first until then you saw her wipe it away. That was the first time that she wiped it away.
Well, and she wiped it on her uniform too, so they're going to have to fix that.
No baskets in almost 5 minutes now for Tennessee. Massengale into traffic with a kick out. Middleton hits a much-needed 3 for Tennessee. And the freshman only shoots 29% from out there.
Much better time to take the 3 this time by Middleton than the last attempt. Uncontested off a kick out.
Tinkle. And a foul call, the 5th on Tennessee. The Frozen Four in Boston fills its final 2 spots tomorrow in a men's ice hockey doubleheader. 5 Eastern, ESPNU, and watch ESPN and visit NCAA.com, the home for all 89 NCAA championships. Now Bashard Graves just picked up her 2nd personal foul as Tinkle gets the first free throw. Graves has just 2 points, and she'll go to the bench. With 8:32 on the clock, she's been the best offensive player for Tennessee so far in the tournament. But not getting a lot of touches, and when she does, not finding any good looks. Tinkle missed the 2nd one, and Gonzaga's an excellent foul shooting team.
And no one stopped the basketball.
Burdick facing up. And Burdick along 2, knocks it down. Burdick with 7 points now.
Great ball movement, Dave. They get a piece of the paint. They go inside out, reverse the ball. That's what Holly Warwick wants to see out of her team.
Tinkle puts it on the floor, pulls up and scores off glass. And it's back to a 6-point lead.
Gonzaga switching between man and matchup.
We're here in Spokane. Gonzaga campus only a couple miles away, but it's the first time they played at this arena this year. Only the 5th time ever. And a foul called on Tennessee as they had 2 cracks at the rim and couldn't score.
The 6'5" red shirt freshman, Emma Wolfram.
Obviously to the women's college game, there is Lisa's husband, Craig, in his first year on the staff. And we talked with Lisa yesterday about that working dynamic, husband-wife. And they say it's great that when they were dating, they used to rebound for one another and then go out and have dinner and have a date. I don't know about you, Deb. I mean, I love my spouse. We get a great relationship. I don't know how we do while working together, though, having the same job day in, day out. But it's worked here for 40 years.
I will temper my answer by wondering if my husband is watching.
I know my wife isn't, so I'm good. 6-point lead for Gonzaga. 6:45 remaining in the first half. There's Greinacher. Puts it on the floor, going one-on-one, and scores, pushing the lead to 8.
Dave, this is how confident Gonzaga is offensively and their ability to score against Tennessee. They just called for an isolation, a one-on-one for Sonny Greinecker, their leading scorer, to score against Tennessee's one-on-one defense.
And look at all the Gonzaga defenders. As Ellie Tinkle takes a shot to the face. We've already had one Gonzaga player bloodied up. Tinkle seems to look okay. Walked right by the official, no blood. And then a foul called on Middleton, the 17th foul. Holly Warlick told us yesterday she does not want to put Gonzaga at the line, but they're in the bonus with 6 minutes to go.
This is one of the best free throw shooting teams. Look at Greinecker. She's 6'4". She's a senior. She has size. This is her 135th consecutive game at Gonzaga. And then on the other end, look at the defense collapse around the interior and their ability to rebound and get into their transition game.
And they're going to go to the monitor and see if there was a flagrant foul when Tinkle took a shot to the face. Jamie Nard was the offensive player for Tennessee. And it was her offhand, the left hand, but it did not look flagrant. And the officials ruled quickly on it and said it's not. And Gonzaga going to make a substitution here. Lindsay Sherbert coming into the game replacing Tinkle.
I think she does have a little blood.
She's going down to the end of the bench here to get checked out. Wolfram has not returned for Gonzaga. And the front end of the one-on-one is good for Georgia Sturton.
Hey, it's tough and physical in there. You knew that was going to be the way this game was going to take place. You got the big guys and the perceived big guys of Tennessee and the perceived little guys of Gonzaga, when, quite frankly, Gonzaga's front line is actually taller than Tennessee's.
And it's been a huge factor defensively, those long arms. Anytime Tennessee catches it in the lane. They have had very few good looks at the rim, even when they've been close to the rim. Shot clock at 7 for Tennessee. Burdick to Middleton. Go back to Burdick. She's double teamed, and there's another case of those long arms in the lane. Cheslick with the block. And traveling as Middleton was right there to defend Sturton and force the turnover. Gonzaga with its largest lead right now at 9. 5.5 remaining in the first half. They call an offensive foul. They
called a travel on Sturton.
Yeah, but she had the dribble, didn't she? Well, I thought at first maybe they called a foul, but no, it was a travel. Now they call a foul here on Cheslick. That's the 6th foul on Gonzaga, her first.
Man-to-man defense under the basket.
And an open 2 is good for Nard.
That's not good defense to leave a wide open jump shooter on that out-of-bounds play. With good execution by Tennessee.
Tennessee only shooting 32% from the floor. Missing inside is Cheslick, and Burdick with the rebound. Middleton got the defender off her feet and gets the bounce. And Tennessee with back-to-back field goals. It's a 5-point game. Sturton stopped her dribble.
Now that's not a good place to pick up your dribble.
Albanez looking for the screen, goes away from it, finds Greinecker in the paint. Well done.
Reject the screen, drive, draw to, dish. Exactly the way Lisa Fortier would have asked her players to execute it.
6 points now for Greinecker. 4.5 to go in the first half. Gonzaga by 7, the 11th seed over the 2 seed. Jumper spins out for Reynolds. Offensive rebound, though, by Nard. Reynolds into traffic. Burdick doesn't get it. Held ball. It will stay with Tennessee.
Tennessee's offensive rebounding ability and athleticism on the glass actually bails them out from their shot selection. You know, some of their shots are contested, tough twos, but they can rebound their misses.
Yeah, they're out rebounding opponents by 35 through the first 2 games of the NCAA tournament, Tennessee. And just +2 in this game. Tennessee trying to get it in bounds here. Wolfram back on the floor for Gonzaga. After the bloody nose earlier in the half.
Go to their horn series. Oh, good post up by Jordan Reynolds. That's a terrific play. Good call by Ariel Massengale, who called that play. Running the point.
And an air ball by Wolfram. Massengale, a look at a three. It's good. And Tennessee's within 2. Timeout Gonzaga. And that run including the 3 a moment ago by Massengale that forced Gonzaga to call a timeout. And so Tennessee back within 2. 3.5 remaining in the first half. Gonzaga trying to join Notre Dame with both men's and women's teams in the Elite 8. First time Gonzaga's men have been there since Mark Few took over as head coach. A turnover by Gonzaga. Numbers for Tennessee, they can't get the handle, and traveling is called on Nard. This is, again, just a great dynamic watching Lisa Fortier and her husband Craig. During that last timeout, when the coaches were huddling up, they were the 2 that were talking. There were other coaches there, but it didn't matter. They were just talking at each other. Great to watch. Great TV.
Look at the ball pressure now. It is really ramped up for Tennessee because they know they can get out in transition if they can get a steal.
Albanez to the goal.
Okay, that's a better decision by Albanez. Last time she tried to kick it to the corner. Jordan Reynolds made a great read. This time she drives to the hole, turns the corner, gets to the rim.
10 points for Albanez. She averaged 13 during the regular season, but has stepped up her game here in the NCAA tournament.
If Gonzaga can score, then they can set their defense and not allow Tennessee to play in transition. Make them score against your set defense.
Nard with a turnaround. And good hustle. Moore gets the offensive rebound. Moore missing. And held ball. It will go to Gonzaga this time. Well, I mentioned that Notre Dame and Gonzaga's men's basketball teams are in the Elite 8, and coverage of the Division I Men's Basketball Championship Regional Finals tomorrow, CBS, 2 p.m. For more, go to ncaa.com. While Gonzaga's men's team is in the Elite 8, Tennessee's men's team is looking for a new basketball coach. Donnie Tyndall fired after the one season. Albanez hanging and scoring for her 12th point. And then a foul called on Tinkle for the reach-in, her second, 17 fouls, so 1-1 now for Tennessee.
Watch this back door against pressure. Doing a great job of going back door in the hang time by Albanez. Impressive.
Albanez, a senior from Santa Barbara. Now, she was the leader, and we spoke with Gonzaga yesterday. We sit down with each team and speak to 3 players. She was very vocal when she came in and carried the conversation. And the rest of the team feeding off her energy right now. Tinkle to the bench for those 2 fouls.
And I thought it was a great call by the bench. Lisa Fortier and her staff over there arguing probably about, Tennessee's playing up the line. We got to look to go back door. You have to have your pressure package in when you play against Tennessee because they can take away the entry passes and you have to be able to counter.
By the way, Albanez has 4 assists as well as those 12 points. 4-point lead for Gonzaga. Inside 2 minutes to go in the first half. The high low to Gleinecker. Wolfram with the dish. The lead back to 6. Terrific execution by Gonzaga, shooting 56%. Tennessee's at 34%.
Rashard Graves continues to sit with those 2 fouls, who's been the best scorer for Tennessee in the tournament.
Middleton misses the 3. Albanez races into the front court. A dangerous pass there.
You can't throw any flat lateral passes. You can't throw any long passes against an overplaying defense.
Getting inside and missing the layup to Sturton. Trying to get it back. Out to Greinacher. Spins out. Here comes Burdick, the leading scorer for Tennessee with 7 points, but she's just 3 of 10 from the floor. Three-pointer on the way. It's good. Nard only a 21% three-point shooter.
That's just her 8th 3 of the season.
That gets Tennessee within 3, about a 10-second difference here between the clocks. Albanez spinning, falling away, one-hander too strong. And we'll go to Tennessee here on the possession arrow. So the Lady Vols, despite struggling offensively, with a chance maybe to tie the game going into the locker room.
Starr, the freshman point guard, is going to come back in, and when she was on the floor last time, Tennessee was able to turn her over on the offensive end.
See if Tennessee holds though for the final shot.
They should.
Inside 10 seconds to go. Crowd on its feet. A packed Spokane arena. Massengale with 3, lets it fly. It's good. Ties it at 34. Gonzaga had a 9-point lead at the 6-minute mark, but the Lady Vols with back-to-back threes to end the half and tie the game. As the leading scorer for either team with 12 points, only player in double figures. So we are tied as we start the second half with a spot in the Elite Eight Monday night against Maryland at stake. Maryland beat Duke earlier today here in Spokane. They go to Tinkle on the opening possession, has it blocked by Reynolds. But at the foul line, Greinacher connects.
Similar to the way they started the game. Going inside, doing a nice job of rebounding, and then spotting up a shooter. Rashard Graves with those 2 first-half fouls didn't get very much playing time in the first half, Dave. Look for them to get her established in the second.
Yeah, just 10 minutes and had only 2 points. She came in averaging 23 points per game in the NCAA tournament. Burdick off the bounce, in and out.
That was halfway down.
Man, they had Greinacher there with the early post. She's screaming for it, not just calling for it, screaming to get it. Missed the first time, and the second. And Burdick's got it now.
If you're going to knock off the #2 seed and the Tennessee Lady Vols, you got to finish plays around the rim.
And traveling on Burdick. Took a couple steps before she put the ball on the floor. Watch Greinacher. She takes a shot to the face. We had 2 bloody noses for Gonzaga in the first half. I think if we get 3, that's a record for a tournament game. I don't have it in front of me, but
I'm sure it would be in some record book in the NCAA somewhere.
Great trap. They get the steal. Reynolds and Carter forcing the turnover by Sturton. Here's Graves. Reverse layup off the front of the rim. Burdick trying to take it away, gets the steal, and then is fouled by Chesley. Her first, and Gonzaga's second, rather. Wait, they're going to call it on Burdick. Ollie Warlick cannot believe that they called that on Burdick. Maybe just because the whistle blew so late.
Well, that's a 50-50 ball that no one has possession of. This is going to be possession for possession the rest of the way. You know, Tennessee at some point is going to be able to get out on the break. They're going to be able to get some runouts. But Gonzaga's got to be able to make sure they can score with them. And they have done a fantastic job of matching Tennessee and scoring more points in the paint than the Lady Vols.
Chesley misses right at the rim. Tapped out by Tinkle and a fresh 30. Gonzaga, one of the last teams in the big dance. An at-large, an 11 seed from the West Coast Conference. Because they won at Oregon State in the second round, they get to come back home, even though it's the first time playing in this arena, just 2 miles from campus in a packed house, as Greinacher hits again from that same spot.
Poise and patience, isn't that something that Keani Albanez said to Allison Williams going to the break? That's exactly what they played that possession with.
Burdick inside the arc, buries it.
And see, Era Burdick has a terrific mid-range game. She has really worked on it. This is the best I've ever seen her. She's in the best shape I've ever seen her. And playing the 4 spot is better for her on the offensive end.
Albanez swishes through her third three-pointer.
Don't you love the fearless attitude of Gonzaga? They're not playing against the Tennessee tradition here. They're playing against this team on the floor.
I'm talking with both teams yesterday. The Gonzaga players knew that they could feed off of having the home crowd, and Tennessee knew that it basically would be a road game, even though they're the favorites. Shot clock down to 2. Carter gets it away in time, and a rebound by Graves. 5-point lead for Gonzaga. Almost 4 minutes gone by here in the second half. Gonzaga led by as many as 9 in the first half. Tennessee tied it at the break. Trying to get it to Graves. Reynolds. Corner 3. Won't go. Close to hitting the shot clock. Still Gonzaga ball.
Always looking inside. Each trip down. They try to get some early offense if they can. Down to the block.
Greiniger drives on Burdick. Reverses and scores. It's back to 7.
So skilled on the front line.
Tennessee came back once. Can they do it again?
See, the ball's getting stuck. They got to move the ball.
Carter into traffic. Every time they get in the lane, there's 3 Zags to meet the dribbler. A wild shot by Massengale, but Graves to the rescue, but a shot clock violation, missing the easy one. Gonzaga with a 7-point lead, trying to move on to the Elite 8. Final class brought in by Pat Summitt. They said, we want to win this for Pat, but they're off to a slow start in the second half, just 1 of 7, and they trail by 7. But Gonzaga, Albanez throwing it into the third row.
And just like we saw in the first game, where Maryland changed their defense and got a little bit more up-tempo on that end of the floor, helped get them into rhythm offensively. Because once again, to start the second half, Gonzaga's getting anything they want offensively, Dave. It hasn't been the defensive pressure that has bothered them. They're getting points in the paint. They're scoring with their size on the inside. They're taking uncontested shots.
Well, they're up 24-8 points in the paint on Tennessee. We were saying during the break that Tennessee doesn't play a team like this.
No, there's not a team like this in the SEC. There's not a team that has this kind of combined size and skilled facing up to the basket. South Carolina's size is big with their back to the basket.
And speaking of South Carolina, you can see them at noon tomorrow in the Greensboro Regional Final against Florida State. Then at 8:30 tomorrow night, the Oklahoma City Regional Final. Baylor and Notre Dame. They met last year with Notre Dame winning in the Elite 8. And you can see it, a rematch tomorrow. The drive and kick, and Carter a spot up 3. Won't go. Rebound Greiniger. I mentioned that this senior group playing for Pat Summitt, how much added pressure is there, Deb, on Tennessee, on Holly Warlick, when you haven't been there in 6 years and you're playing basically a road game?
Well, I think there's pressure. If you look at it like that, you can look at it as opportunity, and I think that's the way these seniors look at it, and they use the motivation to play for Pat as an extra additive to their incentive. But, you know, like, who replaced John Wooden? Nobody remembers who replaced John Wooden after he won. I mean, I'm saying that, you know, rhetorically, obviously, but.
Entry pass, Greiniger got position. It is a 9-point lead, matching the largest of the game. 16 points now for Greiniger.
There are certain standards and pillars which Pat built her program on, the cornerstone of which being defense. And right now Gonzaga is doing whatever they want on the offensive end. That's not the kind of Tennessee defense that we've grown accustomed to seeing.
Plus 18 in the paint for Gonzaga. Tennessee has gone 3.5 minutes without a point. 0 for its last 7. And another miss. That one was halfway down and then off of Graves. Gonzaga ball. Allison, you were listening in on that Tennessee huddle. Tell us what you're hearing.
Just like you guys were talking about, it is the defense that has Holly Warlick furious. She banged on her clipboard with her fist and said, defend. Bottom line, we have to defend.
Well, and Holly knows that better than anyone else. Her jersey is hanging in the rafters in Thompson Bowling Arena, not because of offense, because Holly was a terrific defender, was on that 1980 Olympic team as well. It was all about defense for Holly.
Driving and missing is Nillis, but she was fouled. And so she'll get a chance now to extend the lead to double figures for the first time today. Winner advances to play Maryland on Monday night in the regional final here in Spokane. And imagine if Gonzaga wins today and the men's team wins tomorrow and gets to the Final Four. There's almost 9,000 people in this arena. It's almost full here. Imagine what it would be like Monday night if both win.
Yeah,
It'll be absolutely slammed. I wouldn't be surprised if Mark Few and their team is here Monday night if they win tomorrow and come back to Spokane, head to their first Final Four to support the women's team as well.
Dave, are you sort of impressed that you haven't seen Gonzaga blink yet? You know, I have not seen them blink. Yeah. Even when Tennessee hit those threes late in the first half, they went to the break, they came out, and they went right back to work.
13-2 run. Tennessee has just 2 points this half after tying the game thanks to 3-pointers, consecutive possessions in the final minute for the ball. Pass is broken up by Sturton. Now they got to hustle. 5 on the shot clock. 3-pointer from Massengale, too strong. Offensive rebound. The rejection though by Wolfram.
And Wolfram is battling Graves for early offensive position in the lane. See, Chelzik is a better defender and screener, but Wolfram is a much better offensive player. See, she gets the switch.
Knocked out of bounds by Tennessee. 7 to shoot for Gonzaga.
Emma Wolfram comes off the bench, coming off a career-high 17 in the upset over Oregon State. Can't find a better time than to play your best basketball than right now.
I mean, they're looking at the shot clock here. They're going to add a second on the shot clock, make it 2 seconds, excuse me. So she took 14 attempts in that game. That was the most she had taken all year and made 7 of them.
And we talk about pressure for Holly Warlick. Lisa Fortier has had this similar kind of pressure trying to replace Kelly Graves. And when I visited with her earlier in the week, because I came out here so early, because I love Spokane, she's unfazed by, you know, what her team is doing in terms of feeling any pressure. She just wants to execute the next play. That's the way she thinks. Next play, next game.
There's a kick ball, so now they're going to put the shot clock to 15.
She fully understood the Tennessee rivalry or tradition and the history of the program, but she believed that her kids had some advantage on the inside and they could take advantage of that, and they have done that.
And Tennessee now shooting just 29% from the floor. They are 9 of 35 inside the arc. Wolfram calling for it on the low block. Instead, they'll keep it in Sturton's hands. Run a set with 8 to shoot. Here comes the screen. Timer's at 5. Sturton on the pull-up. No. Out of bounds. Tennessee ball. And the Lady Vols had the offense. The question is, where is it right now? They only have 2 points this half.
And 2 things, Dave. Discipline and execution. Are you getting the shots that you want? Are you getting the ball to Graves in a block with a quality touch where she can be effective?
They're 0 for their last 11. Almost 5.5 minutes now of a scoring drought. And it was off of Gonzaga, so Tennessee keeps here with 14 to shoot. We got a timeout on the floor. Gonzaga with its largest lead, 11 points. We'll hear what Holly Warlick has to say about it when we come back to Spokane.
Year, 5 games without her. Now they've had to finish the season without her. She's their All-American candidate. And it makes everybody else have to play their role a little bit different, change what they do, mainly add to their game. Some are capable and some are not.
Massengale from two-point land with 2 on the timer. Massengale hit the 3 at the end of the first half to tie it. Let's see if that sparks her and the Lady Vols. They had missed 11 in a row and did not have a field goal in almost 6 minutes prior to that one.
I think it's time for Ariel Massengale, as a senior on this team, who I know has a sense of urgency about her, to start demanding shots.
A turnover, good steal by Reynolds to step in front. It's a 9-point lead for Gonzaga. Reynolds going all the way, missed the layup.
So you can't make that play and not finish it because it allows the transition on the other end. You've got to finish a layup.
A foul inside here on Tennessee. 3rd team foul on the Lady Vols, and they just got Graves for her 3rd. She has just 2 points on 1 of 7 shooting after 2 terrific games to start the tournament.
Well, the size has definitely bothered her.
3-pointer for Albanez. 12-point lead, the largest of the game. 18 points now for Albanez.
What a terrific 3-point shooter. That's what Holly Warlick told Allison. Our defense has to get better. Their scouting report defense has to be on point right here. And one of the things Holly Warlick told us yesterday is they wanted to play one-on-one. They thought that their athleticism could contain one-on-one defense, and they're not able to contain the scoring in the paint right now.
By the way, they gave that foul apparently to Burdick last time down, so that's 3 on her, not on Graves, but at this point, both players are important. Whoever has 3, Burdick with 10 rebounds, she's been their best rebounder in the game. Nearing the midway point of the second half, Tennessee facing its largest deficit of the game. Burdick inside the arc, in and out, long rebound. Wolfram's got it for Gonzaga.
You box out and you don't allow the front line to get that rebound, but I didn't see Tennessee crashing the offensive glass either.
Gonzaga will keep 20 to shoot. The NIT down to its final 4. Semifinal action tips off Tuesday at 7 Eastern. Miami and Temple on ESPN, and watch ESPN. Go to NCAA.com, the home for all 89 NCAA championships. Gonzaga looking to add to a 12-point lead. Chelzik off glass, makes it a 14-point advantage.
Their front line is just pounding away on the interior, scoring at will in mismatches and straight up one-on-one defense.
Massengale 2, no. Graves touched it last. Gonzaga ball. And it's almost like the fans here, they want to jump out of their seats and go crazy, but they settle back down knowing that they're playing, their team's playing a good Tennessee squad that can come back from 14 down.
This is my 4th trip to Spokane. These fans out here are fantastic. They are knowledgeable and they care. And even today, as we see pressure, even today, in the newspaper, I saw an ad for season ticket sales for next year for Gonzaga women's basketball. Progressive, forward thinking. Got a good product.
Got the men's team in the regional final and the women's team trying to get there as well. Again, Tennessee with just 4 points in the second half in almost 11 minutes, and that's after they had that 6-point burst in 60 seconds to tie it at halftime, and you thought they had all the momentum. That's a long 2 by Burdick.
With a hand in her face. Now Burdick and Massengale are the 2 seniors that you know are going to fight till the finish.
And a foul here on Carter, her 3rd, 4th on Tennessee in the half. Gonzaga trying to get inbounds. Albanez facing the trap. Staub brings it across. Nobody picks her up, so she pulls up at the foul line. And an offensive foul on Chesley. 2 on her, 3 on Gonzaga. Fourth time Gonzaga's been to the Sweet 16. When they played here in the regional in 2011 as an 11 seed. They knocked off Louisville in the regional semis before falling to Stanford in the regional final. And they're 8:40 away. They had a held ball. They'll go to Gonzaga. Well, advancing to play Maryland on Monday night.
Wow, Dave, I mean, just a great defensive play. I mean, if you're Carter, you got to swipe that through. You can't let her tie you up.
Albanez has been the best player on the floor tonight.
No question.
Got 15 points, 3 threes, played excellent defense. And she hit the deck. She got tripped. I'm going to call travel. I don't know if she got tripped by a Tennessee player, if actually Cheslick. If it was a Cheslick that tripped her, a teammate. He's saying she was pushed. Maybe she just fell.
Yeah, I don't know, hard to tell from that angle. But she fell down with the ball, and if she wasn't fouled, then it would be travel.
Tennessee trying to get back down to 10, maybe 9 here as we close in on the 8-minute mark. Graves then silent, 1 of 7, just 2 points. Massengale, and controlling the glass is Cheslick again. They're out-rebounding Tennessee by 3. The Lady Vols were out-rebounding opponents by 35 in the first 2 rounds, but not today. And they're down 12. It's 4 3-pointers for Gonzaga. Tennessee, meanwhile, 3 of 18 shooting in the second half.
Well, I think their defense has really let them down and put way too much pressure on their offense. Now, with only 6 points in 12 minutes of play.
How about points in the paint? 26-8 in favor of Gonzaga. Plus second chance points, 14-4. A lot of the hustle stats favoring the Zop. Shot clock at 3. Greinacher turns and scores.
Wow. 2 seconds on the shot clock, and you can take it that deep with your offense against pressure. That's the kind of poise and composure of a veteran team. And this is a team full of seniors. 2 seniors and 3 juniors in the starting lineup for Gonzaga.
And you go to the bench and they bring in really the lone youngster in Wolfram, a redshirt freshman. Gonzaga's matched its largest lead at 14 points. Burdick and Massengale, the only 2 Tennessee players in double figures. Shot clock at 5. Burdick up top. No good on the 3. Kept alive by Graves. And Graves gets to the loose ball. And a held ball will stay with the Vols. Allison Williams was standing near the Gonzaga huddle during the timeout.
And guys, they know that if they want to hold on to this win, they are going to have to contain a couple of seniors for Tennessee. They were told it is Massengale and Burdick time. Defensively, it is about those 2. They are the ones calling for the ball. We always have to be aware of them.
Well, you can certainly tell by their body language. That's absolutely correct. It's what we were talking about before. You know they're going to go for the fight.
How about Tinkle with the rejection from behind? And look, Carter landed hard, so they got a 5-on-4 right now. But Carter back on defense. Basket and a foul by Cheslick. It's a 16-point lead.
Early offense for Gonzaga. Their bigs have beaten Tennessee's front line down the floor consistently tonight.
Deb, there were a lot of people coming in that thought that it might be double figures at this point in the game, but not many thought it would be Gonzaga up by 17 after Cheslick gets the free throw. Tennessee stuck on 6 points with 6.5 minutes to go in the second half, being outscored 23-6 since intermission. Graves on the catch. Got it to go, and a foul.
See, right now at this point in the game with Tennessee with 5 team fouls, they have to crash the glass every time. They have to drive it hard to the rim, try to get to the free throw line. They've got to try to score points around the rim in the paint like this, like Graves, if they want to extend the game.
Cheslick committed her 3rd foul. Graves, 74% foul shooter, completes the 3-point play. Full court pressure by Tennessee. Tinkle will bring it up. There's Sturton, the point guard.
He was a junior college point guard who didn't know Lisa Fortier's system and didn't know the personnel of this team. Has really evolved into a very solid point guard for them.
Tinkle on the drive, swatted away by Reynolds. Gonzaga will keep with 8 on the shot clock. Tennessee in its history has been eliminated in the regional semifinals only 6 times in 34 NCAA tournaments, 33 Sweet 16 appearances.
Which is 34 as every tournament we've ever had in the women's game.
Reinecker with 1 to shoot. Off of Graves, Gonzaga gets another possession. Graves shaken up on that play as well. Holding her right shoulder. And they got to get Graves out of the game. And so Carter will replace Graves. Seemed to be contact when she suffered the injury. So we'll go to the end of the Tennessee bench and get looked at. Off of Sturton and a turnover. Now tomorrow, NBA action from our nation's capital on ABC as the Rockets and MVP candidate James Harden take on the Wizards. Countdown tips off at noon. NBA Sunday Showcase, Rockets Wizards at 12:30. Burdick on the drive and another chance at a three-point play. Mini 5-0 run by Tennessee, and Burdick will go to the line.
That's what I'm talking about. You have to be more aggressive now and put pressure on Gonzaga's D. You got to get to this point right here. Graves scored an and one. Now Burdick has an opportunity.
Wolfram committed the foul, 15 foul. And Burdick gets the free throw. It is down to 11, so it took them 14 minutes to score 6 points, and they scored 6 ones here in the last 40 seconds or so. How does Gonzaga handle a little adversity now with Tennessee making it an 11-point game? They go to Reinecker. She handles it well.
Yeah, she handled it well through contact. I thought there was a foul.
Her 20th point. She has 9 rebounds as well. Average 14 and 6 during the season.
Excuse me, Dave. That's the go-to player for Gonzaga.
Massengale underneath, another three-point chance. That's 3 in a row for Tennessee as Nard gets the basket.
They were settling for the jump shot too much, obviously. Now they're attacking the paint, getting points inside, get something going towards the basket. This is a great feed by Massengale. You want the ball in her hands right now if you're Tennessee.
Third three-point play, and so it's down to 10. And a foul on Tennessee. That's a 16 foul on Tennessee. 6 on Gonzaga. That was on Middleton for the Lady Vols. 4:51 on the clock. Graves hoping to return, trying to work on that right shoulder. Albanez leaning in, and she was fouled by Carter. So Albanez, one of the best free throw shooters in the country at 87%, will go to the line. And again, this is what Holly Warlick told us yesterday. Does not want Gonzaga to be in this position with this much time, where one of the best foul shooting teams in the country is in the bonus. Now 1-1 here for Albanez. As a 18-point night, and that's 4 fouls on Carter. Back in, Bashard Graves. Gonzaga 5 of 7 as a team, now 6 of 8 at the stripe. Albanez connects on the front end.
Albanez, a 5'10 senior, leads his team in steals. 5 times she's been over the 20-point mark this season.
An 11 seed has made it to the regional final only once. That was Gonzaga. Only twice has a double-digit seed made it to the regional final. The lowest seed to make a Final Four was a 9 seed, Arkansas, back in 1998. Gonzaga trying to get one step away. But Burdick with the reverse layup gets it back to 10, almost a steal. Tinkle able to get it across and pulls it out.
You better be strong with the basketball right now if you're Gonzaga, because Tennessee is going for steals. They are really up in your grill. It's an opportunity to look back door.
Albanez hits the floor again. She'll go back to the line. 1-and-1, 18 foul on Tennessee. Nard commits the foul. That's her third. 20 points for Keani Albanez, 20 for Sunny Greinacher. And she missed the front end of the 1-and-1. Now's Tennessee's opportunity. They trailed by 17 just a couple minutes ago. It's down to 7 on the three-pointer by Massengale.
That's a big three, and that's who you want taking shots right now.
Almost a turnover. Sturton saves it. Inside 4 minutes to go. Albanez on the drive. Shot clock down to 12. Sturton has the bigger Nard defending. Timer at 6. Great job defensively by Tennessee. There's no passing windows. Greinacher with 1 to shoot. Puts up a brick. Loose ball. Out of bounds. Gonzaga gets another possession. 3:26 to go in regulation. Gonzaga led by 17, but it's now at 7.
The NCAA Women's Championship is
In Monson when they went there in the late 90s. The women were there in 2011. Lisa Fortier was an assistant to Kelly Graves. Now she's the head coach, as they are 3:26 away from moving on to play Maryland on Monday night. But Tennessee, down 17 at the 6-minute mark, has cut the deficit to 7. Gonzaga ball. They got to get it in bounds, and they do to Albanez. Albanez drives, throws it up, and rebounded by Burdick. That's her 11th board.
Good defense by Tennessee on the out-of-bounds play off the timeout.
Massengale, long three, short. Offensive rebound, though, by Reynolds. Now Massengale drives, and it's a 5-point game. Man, Ellie Tinkle again hits the deck. It's been a physical game. We've seen 2 bloody noses. We've seen several players hitting the deck here in the second half.
Rashard Graves left Tennessee with her shoulder. Gonzaga, I mean, it's been tough. There's no question. There's a lot on the line right now.
I'm turning around. Wayne Tinkle's a few rows behind us. I'm turning around and looking at him, and he didn't even want to look. He was looking to try to see a replay. They didn't have it on the Jumbotron. Wayne, the head men's coach at Oregon State, watched his daughter Jocelyn go to the Final Four when she was at Stanford, when they won here in Spokane in 2011. The other daughter, Ellie, a member of the Zags.
She's mad. Look at the fighting. Ellie Tinkle, she's not happy that she's got to come out of this game. She ran right into that Jordan Reynolds screen.
And again, Gonzaga having trouble inbounding the ball. Deflected out of bounds. And it was touched last by Tennessee. Tennessee on a 7-0 run. They've made 6 of their last 7. They had 6 points in the first 14 minutes of this half. And they finally found their offense.
And now's the time not to get passive. You have to stay aggressive. You have to run through your stuff. You have to do it exactly the way you did it before.
Graves just picked up the foul, so Albanez will go back to the line for a 1-and-1. 19 foul. She just missed, though. 4th foul on Graves. She just missed a front end a moment ago at 87% on the year at the line. got to wonder, were some of the Gonzaga players thinking maybe it was over?
That's 2 1-and-1 she's missed.
And it was 17 at the 6-minute mark. They let their guard down at all. They lose that intensity. Burdick on the drive. And they're going to wave it off. No basket. Foul on the floor. That's the 17th foul. So a 1-and-1 for Burdick coming up. And Burdick's a good foul shooter at 81%. And how much of this is Tennessee and what they're doing? How much of it is a lapse by Gonzaga, perhaps?
I think as Tennessee decided to become aggressive when they attacked the glass off the bounce, points in the paint, driving to the basket. And Gonzaga is having a little bit of trouble with their full court pressure. Tennessee couldn't score, so they couldn't pick up full court. Now they can score. Now they can play the kind of defense that they like to play. They are now dictating when Gonzaga's offense was dictating before.
Burdick gets them both. 18 points, 11 rebounds. Here's the full court pressure again. It is a 3-point game. It was 57-40 with 6.5 minutes remaining. And Tennessee is hounding Gonzaga when it has the ball. And a steal. Graves takes it away. Graves on the drive, scores, and it's a 1-point game.
The Tennessee full court pressure has taken a toll.
Albanez gets it across, and a timeout by Gonzaga.
I wonder why Lisa Fortier waited so long when her team was struggling so much against the full court pressure to call a timeout. And look, Rashard Graves up the line, big steal, drive to the hole, finish with a little contact. It's a 1-point game.
Such an interesting dynamic with both head coaches, former assistants. Holly Warlick now in her 3rd year, Lisa Fortier in her 1st year as the head coach, trying to handle the pressure of a 17-point lead nearly evaporating. And a travel is called on Greiniker. So Tennessee, which has not led since the 15-minute mark of the first half, on an 11-0 run right now, has a chance to retake the lead late in the second half with a spot in the Elite Eight at stake. Tinkle back on the floor for Gonzaga. The entry pass and a foul on Gonzaga. No basket. They'll get Sturton for the personal, her 18th foul, and Tennessee will have a 1-and-1.
That's an excellent call off the timeout, knowing that Sturton cannot handle Jordan Reynolds on the block. She hasn't been able to handle her earlier in the game where Reynolds was able to cut across the front of her face and score.
78% free throw shooter. Reynolds, her first attempt of the game. Tennessee has not missed as a team. They are now 9 of 9, and we are tied. 5 minutes ago, it was 57-40, Gonzaga. With all the pressure on the Vols, no Final Four since 2008. And looking like maybe their season was going to be over. And the seniors playing for Pat Summitt. They have found a way to retake the lead with 90 seconds to go. Almost a steal by Tennessee. Bodies hit the floor. It's a held ball. They'll give the jump ball signal, and on the possession arrow, it stays with Gonzaga.
This is where the athleticism and the speed of Tennessee becomes a factor, because this is how they've been able to get back in. And Gonzaga has got to attack north and south. You can't go east and west. That allows the speed and athleticism to become even a greater factor.
Well, Sturton got tripped, and a timeout called by Gonzaga. That's who they're trying to inbound the ball to, but she stumbled. And instead of risking an opportunity or chance at a 5-second call, they called the timeout. And this is what we're talking about. Lisa Fortier handling this.
Lanes.
Plenty of timeouts for both teams, both in the bonus. And they got trouble getting it inbounds again. Dangerous pass. Loose ball. Tennessee's got it. A horrible turnover by Gonzaga out of the timeout.
Tennessee just overpowered them defensively on that possession.
A 13-0 run. Oh, they called an offensive foul on Massengale. Wow. Not sure about that one. Gonzaga ball, down 1. Let's see.
She leaned her shoulder in.
Yeah,
that's what the official saw.
This is the better angle here, and a little bit of a bump. What do you think? Good call?
I think it is.
Okay. Gonzaga with a chance to retake the lead. A minute to go. Down 1. Albanez with a good pass. And the bucket from Wolfram. The Zags back on top. Tinkle right in Massengale's grill near midcourt.
No help if you're playing in Massengale right now. You cannot help off of that.
A lot of contact inside. Sturton and Reynolds collide. Sturton commits the foul. 19 foul. So Reynolds will go to the line.
And Lisa Fortier is over there saying, hey, she's pushing her, trying to post up inside. This is what I'm talking about, the overpowering size and strength of Tennessee.
Tennessee is 11 of 11 at the line. One more for Reynolds. We're tied at 63. Again, if you're just tuning in, Gonzaga at the 6-minute mark led by 17. Second free throw, no good. Rebounded by Greiniker. About an 11-second difference between game and shot clocks at the end of regulation. Albanez puts it on the deck.
I like Albanez in an on-ball screening action right here. Get her the ball. Now bring a screen. This is what I like right here, Gonzaga. You can execute this.
He's got 20 points, not looking to score, though. Gives it up. Now gets it back. 3 to shoot. Sturton with 1, lets it fly. Won't go. Rebound by Reynolds. 8 seconds left. Holly Warlick saying go. They're not going to call a timeout. 4 seconds. Massengale 3. Massengale no. The putback is blocked. We're going to overtime in Spokane.
I completely agree with Holly Warlick not calling a timeout here. You have to drive it the other way. This is not who Gonzaga wants taking the last shot. Albanez just gave it up because Tennessee's switching on everything defensively. Sturton off the front rim, and here's the hesitation. And then Massengale looks up and takes it. This is the right play. You don't want to call a timeout and let Gonzaga set their D. And what a play by Tinkle.
And then the block by Tinkle. And we're headed overtime. Holly Warlick for Tennessee. Nobody with 4 fouls for Gonzaga. And Albanez looked a lot more tentative in the final 5 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, Dave, I thought they all did. I think the pressure really bothered them.
Open underneath was Cheslick, but Greiniker says, I'm going to take the jumper and knock it down. Her 22nd point. Gonzaga by 2. 4.5 to go here in OT. Massengale into the paint. Her pass is intercepted. Albanez. And Greiniker had it deflected. They just have not been strong with the ball. A timeout called here by Gonzaga. 2 left for the Bulldogs, who have a 2-point lead here in overtime.
Not shrink under the pressure of Tennessee's defense. They have to thrive in it, and they have to attack. And I like Sonny Greiniker and Keani Albanez involved in the ball screening action on the side. I think that's a tough thing for Tennessee to guard.
First overtime game in the Sweet 16 or later in 2 years. A timeout by Tennessee after they get the steal. Burdick with the steal, and then they call the timeout. That has been a problem for Gonzaga here. At the end of the second half and in overtime, inbounding the ball and then just protecting the ball.
For Gonzaga.
Tennessee ball trailing by 2. All the pressure coming into the game on the Vols, and it seemed like the pressure shifted to Gonzaga down the stretch. And got a foul here on Sturton, bumping with Reynolds. That's 3 on her, and the 10th team foul. So both teams now in the double bonus at the 4-minute mark of overtime.
That's a matchup that is just a physical, overpowering matchup for Sturton. Every time they've gone to that horn set, Jordan Reynolds is cut across the front of her face. That's 3 fouls that Sturton has picked up trying to defend her on the block.
Reynolds gets the first one. Remember, she had that miss at the end of regulation that left the game tied. And that was the first miss for Tennessee all night.
If you're Sturton, what you have to try to do is jump to the ball and make her go behind you, but you cannot let her keep slashing across the front of your face. It's hard to do when somebody's stronger than you.
This has been a great tournament game. Incredible variety of emotions. It looked like for a while Gonzaga was going to blow out the 2 seed. Then Tennessee comes roaring back to take the lead. A fury at the end of regulation. A block by Gonzaga at the buzzer to preserve and send the game to overtime. And now the Zags with the ball in a tie game. 3:40 on the clock and the shot clock at 9. Albanez finds Tinkle. Can't score. Rebounded by Burdick. And Burdick now with 12 boards.
I thought Tinkle had her with the go-to over the left shoulder. She countered and spun back to her left.
What a night for Burdick. 18 points, 12 rebounds for Tennessee. Graves has been quiet, just 7 points. Knocked out of bounds.
And that's the same play. Sorry, Dave, that's the same play. Horn set. They're trying to post up.
They called a foul. They called a foul there on Albanez, who is hurt. Albanez came over the top to try to break up the pass. She commits her 4th foul and suffered an injury on that play, but we'll see if she stays in the game.
Hey, this is working, so you keep going to it. As you see, Albanez is trying to get over the top of that post up.
I think she had her, and that's why her shoulders, she had her left arm hooked with Nard. And so Nard at the line shooting 2. Tennessee is 14 of 15 so far at the line. Albanez will stay in the game, and they'll bring a sub in for Chesley.
By my unofficial count, in their Horn series, that's 5 times that Tennessee has drawn a foul, trying to post up from the wing. It's a good series to run, especially at this time when you know you're going to get that call.
Well, now they had 3 consecutive and ones. Were they running that set on those and ones?
They were not running those sets on those and ones. That was just them running a different set and attacking the rim.
But that was big because that got them back in the game, and it was 57-40. Tinkle takes it all the way to the goal. Can't put it in. Offensive rebound, though. Albanez elected not to shoot the 3. Tinkle will. No good, but the putback by Greiniger, and we're tied again.
Yeah, I like Massengale right here running the sets at the top. They're going to run the same play. Now they're going to get out of their horns. See, I would go right back to the same thing, because now what happens is because Gonzaga has scored, they've been able to get in their matchup zone.
Pass broken up by Greiniger as Graves looked like she could have just taken that shot, elected to pass the ball. It will stay with Tennessee, 11 on the shot clock, tied up, 2:34 on the game clock.
You better switch on everything right here in the man-to-man on the out-of-bounds play.
Trying to get it to Massengale off the screen, and Greiniger's right there. Shot clock at 4. Nard will take a long 3. In and out. Tennessee keeps. And nobody guarding Massengale.
Look at Graves. She's got a matchup. Oh, they missed her.
Yeah, the mismatch with the Sturton. Her point guard signed the defender. Now Graves drives. Misses. Rebound by Nard. Another opportunity for Tennessee.
She traveled. She traveled.
Timeout, Tennessee.
She changed her pivot foot.
She was trying to call timeout, and I think Lisa Fortier is with you.
Yep, she definitely changed her pivot foot.
There's a timeout, Tennessee. They give it to the Vols. Tied up. 2:01 left. 10 to shoot.
I had a teammate that used to do this all the time and get away with it. It's so subtle. First of all, Graves should have scored that mid-range jump shot in the mid-post. Look, she changes her pivot foot. That's a travel. That's not a timeout.
Right.
Yep. I don't blame her.
Yeah, so a miss there by all 3 officials. And so a tie game, Tennessee ball with 10 to shoot. 2:01 on the game clock. Spot in the regional. Be the 3rd time a double-digit seed, and the 2nd time an 11 seed. Gonzaga did it in 2011. make it to the regional final. 7 to shoot now. Reynolds, Massengale for 3 in the lead. Too strong. Another Tennessee rebound. Then a loose ball. Held ball. Tennessee will keep. Wow, the Vols crashing the glass here in overtime and getting extra possessions. What, the 4th possession or 4th second chance opportunity on this possession alone?
Another fresh clock.
Pull-off jumper. I think Reiniger got a piece of that, but offensive rebound. Burdick is fouled. Two free throws for Burdick and another opportunity for Tennessee to go up.
That was definitely blocked, and then strong pivot work inside. Burdick powering through the taller players to get to the line.
Wolfram commits the foul. Burdick gets the free throw. Tennessee is 16 of 17 at the foul line tonight. Tennessee trying to get tournament win number 120. They are tied with the Kentucky men for the most all time. Pat Summitt has 112 of those. Holly Warlick can get number 8. Tennessee will be in the regional final. They have a 2-point lead. And Massengale reaches in. It'll go to Gonzaga on the possession arrow.
Move the ball. If you're going to wait for them to double team you, you're not going to be able to get out of the trap. They're too big and strong and athletic in that trap.
And almost another turnover. Knocked out of bounds by Graves. And Gonzaga was up 17 with 6 minutes to go in regulation. You wonder, did they lose focus? Did they run out of gas? Did they begin to get intimidated by Tennessee after the comeback by the Vols? They don't have that same look that they had where they led for 35 minutes. Going from the 5-minute mark of the first half till about the 5-minute mark of the second half.
That was a nice tactic by a senior to get him to wipe the floor so everybody could take a break.
I think Gonzaga needed it. I think they needed that breather.
Well, Burdick did that for Gonzaga. I thought she was doing that for Tennessee.
And Albanez got a timeout called, almost a 5-second. 1 timeout remaining for Gonzaga.
Ariel Massengale.
Gonzaga just got to get in bounds. That's been a struggle. Now ball pressure on Sturton with the shot clock at 7. We got a big on Sturton. Timer's down to 4. Sturton with 2. And a shot clock violation.
That's just poor time and score management. And Tennessee switched on everything defensively. You got to do a better job coming out of the huddle and with this much on the line in this kind of game and atmosphere.
Tennessee gets it across. Inside a minute to go in overtime. Tennessee on top by 2. Trailed by 17 late in the second half. An incredible comeback. We're inside 10 seconds now to shoot. Here's Massengale. A long 3. A brick. Gonzaga has it. Here comes Sturton. Albanez on the drive. Gives it up. And it was an errant pass, but it ended up in the hands of Tinkle.
Be patient, be poised. There's the switch.
Reinecker is open. Lets it go. Can't get it. Tennessee rebounds. And they got a foul. And they foul Burdick with 17.6 on the clock. Reinecker was making those earlier, but that one didn't drop.
You got the look. You ran your sets. You didn't panic. And Reinecker has made those shots. Tennessee switching on everything. A great look. A shot that she's probably made 5 times already tonight. Look at the reaction by both benches.
I mean, if Tennessee pulls this out, they've had bigger wins, obviously. They've got 8 national titles, but This would be one of the more emotional wins if they can pull this out, where it looked like the last senior class that was recruited by Pat Summitt was going to go out in the regional semis where they were down 17. And now a chance to go up 4 here with Burdick at the line for one more. Isabel Harrison, their leading scorer and rebounder, out for the season after tearing her ACL in mid-February. Burdick makes it a 4-point game with 17.6 on the clock.
Certainly one of the bigger wins for Holly, that's for sure. Well, in women's basketball, you'd like to think you could get a quick 2 and then foul and extend the game, but you might have to get a 3 here if it's the first thing you have available.
Albanez has been shut down since about the 10-minute mark. 8 seconds to go. Sturton, no. Offensive rebound, and Tennessee gets to the loose ball. And they're going to say a foul here on Burdick, so Tinkle's going to go to the line.
And the reason why I said they needed to go for the 3 there instead of the 2 is in the men's game, you have more time, you're faster, you push the ball up the court faster. That's not Gonzaga's game.
So let me ask you this. If you make the first one, do you miss the second one, hope to get the rebound and get a 3?
I think you have to consider that, because let's see if she makes the first one, because you might have to tap it back out. Yes.
All right, so 3-point game, 4.4. If you make the second one, if you foul, you risk the opportunity of them making 2 anyway, and then you're down 4. Can you get up the floor in 4.4, or do you just miss and try to tap it back out?
She's going to try to make it.
She did.
And you didn't see anything from the bench different from that philosophy.
That's their last timeout. So
you got to foul right away, potentially before the ball comes inbound. Okay, if you can foul before.
She got into the Sweet 16 last year, the Elite 8 2 years ago. They expect Final Fours, though, at Tennessee. They get it inbounds, and here's the foul with 3.7, so 0.7 of a second one off the clock.
So you still have time for 3 actions. 3 dribbles and a shot. But you got to hope that Tennessee misses one of these.
And again, if you think about percentages, was there a higher percentage of you missing the second one, tapping it out and getting a 3, or just making it like they did and then hoping Tennessee misses 1 out of the 2?
I think we both were leaning towards miss it and tap it out because of the time on the clock and the other things I stated about the women's game and advancing the ball quickly up the court.
And so Tennessee has missed 1 free throw, 19 of 20. Reynolds was the one that missed the free throw. That was in regulation. It would have given them a 1-point lead. Maybe they would have won it in regulation. And she gets this one. It's a 3-point game. If she makes it,
it's 2 possessions.
It's pretty much over.
But what an incredible down 17 with 6.5 minutes left. It's an incredible run by Tennessee, and going to be a tough loss if that happens for Gonzaga to live with the way the game finished.
Be one of the great comeback wins for Tennessee. Reynolds hit it. It's a 4-point game. And Gonzaga having trouble getting it in bounds. That's it. Tennessee comes back from 17 down in essentially a road game. They erase that deficit in 5 minutes, and they move on to the Elite 8 on Monday night. An incredible win for Holly Warlick. Great job by her, too, keeping her team composed. They could have folded. Looked like they were done. The crowd was fired up. But they kept fighting. They created turnovers. And they finally got it going offensively.
Massengale and Burdick were not done with their seasons. And they were the players chiefly in that run that made the plays to be able to give Tennessee a chance to get to overtime.
Talking with the seniors yesterday, the last class recruited by Pat Summitt, they said, we're doing this for Pat. We want to win for Pat and get back to Tampa. The last time Tennessee made it to the Final Four in 2008. They're 1 win away from returning.